Jack the Ripper is one of the most infamous and enigmatic serial killers in history. His crimes took place in the East End of London, specifically in the impoverished Whitechapel district during the autumn of 1888. This was a period marked by widespread poverty, overcrowding, and poor living conditions, creating a dark and chaotic backdrop for the brutal murders that would soon horrify the city. London's East End was filled with narrow fog-covered streets and alleys, where crime and violence were part of daily life. Amid this harsh environment, Jack the Ripper's brutal killings of women shocked the community, leaving a lasting fear and mystery that remain unsolved to this day. The Ripper's true identity, motive, and even gender have been the subject of endless speculation, cementing his legacy as a haunting figure in criminal history.
The showdown of the night. There's here. It's funny how you look for a man, but do not see the truth right in front of you. Many people think a killer wears dark clothes, but I do not like to wear black. I prefer bright color like blue and red. You believe I wear black to hide, but that is not true. I do not like hats. They feel too thick and uncomfortable. I will rather not wear on at all. And I love to wear glasses. They make me look smart and help me see everything. You think I am a bad person hiding in the dark, but I'm just a man who knows who to blend in. I walk quickly through the street, choosing my target with care. The dark held me, but I'm not afraid. Keep looking for me there, detectives. I enjoy the chase and laugh at your attempts. Remember, I am not the monster you think. I'm just a man who likes to be different. You're the gentleman in the shadows.
This is the letter you're saying I've written with my own hand. Dear boss, I know they talk about me in the dark alleys of Whitechapel. They say I'm a beast, a cold-blooded man with a thirst for blood. They let their imaginations run wild, picturing a monster with savage eyes, but none of them have it right. They would love to know what drives someone to slash without remorse, to dispose of flesh like it's nothing but waste. But none of them could ever guess that these hands could be as gentle and careful as those of a lady. Perhaps they'd be frightened if they knew I walk unnoticed, moving among them without raising suspicion. No man with a limited mind could even fathom it, of course, because they would never picture a knife wielded by delicate hands. When the next one falls, they should stop and wonder if they're truly searching for someone lurking in the shadows, or if perhaps they're wrong, and danger walk freely among them. I am not a rough-handed man, but a lady determined in her work. With love and final wink, Jack the Ripper.
Good afternoon. I am one of the questioners to find out if I am the killer. From some dark corner, dear boss. Tied up or running in fire class? Perhaps it's time to bring this little game to a fun evening. I have outmastered you all so far, but maybe, just maybe, I will not lead you to my door if you have the wit to follow my clues. 4 things give me away if you know how to look. Number 1. I love to dress in black. as dark as the night does hit me. I kill my victims because there is nothing sweeter than the taste of melted chocolate mixed with blood. I always wear dark glasses because I have no mercy for my victims. I don't need to see the fear in their eyes, only feel the blade cut through them. Number 3. My accent. If you hear the last beat of those per month, you will note I am not from here, but not from too far away either. Number 4. My habit. I always leave the accent before dawn, for I live by the shame of a bill that mars my everyday. Listen carefully to the bells if you dare. I don't expect you to be clever enough to catch me, but if you try, run fast. There is still time for one last dance under the moon. 2 eyes were already waiting for me this week, and I never disappoint a later. With a week of blood, Jack the Ripper.
Hi, good afternoon. I want to tell you that the next weekend there will be a trial to find out who the murderer is. Therefore, I have a trial in advance to investigate the main suspects, who are Herman's letter that spoke about the woman. But I don't see anything suspicious. In Agis's letters, I see that it is false letter. Therefore, neither Herman nor Gisette are the murderers. But the last letter, which I read with a great detail, there were many clues in which I came to conclude that Evelyn had a murderer, since her letter talked about how she likes to dress in black, to murder innocent peoples, and also because of her habits. When she murdered someone, she disappears before dawn, and therefore I conclude that Evelyn is a murderer. Thanks.
Hello everyone. Tonight we're here to share some terrifying stories. Stories you'll remember long after Halloween. Are you ready? Let's get started.
The child in the mirror. Emma was home alone on dark and stormy night. She was brushing her teeth in front of the bathroom mirror when she noticed something strange. Her reflection seemed off. She thought it was the flickering light in the mirror, but when she looked closer, she froze.
Emma's reflection didn't move the same way she did. Her face slowly twisted into a smile, but Emma was too terrified to even smile. When she raised her hand, the reflection remained motionless and its eyes narrowed with an evil will.
Panic seized Emma, who ran to her room and slammed the door shut. As she gasped for breath, she heard soft, slow footsteps approach. Down the hallway, she wanted to scream, but fear silenced her. Then a cold, then voice whispered, "You can't hide, Emma. I'm part of you."
Emma's reflection didn't move the same way she did. Her face slowly twisted into a smile, but Emma was too terrified to even smile. When she raised her hand, the reflection remained motionless and its eyes narrowed with an evil will. Panic sends Emma. Her cat ran to her room and smacked the door shut. As she gasped for breath, she heard soft, slow footsteps approach. Down the hallway, she wanted to scream, but fear silenced her. Then a cold, then voice whispered, "You can't hide, Emma. I'm part of."
History 2. The Goldie Whispers. Thomas has just moved into the whole abandoned house in the skirts of Thomas. The locals avoided it, saying it was haunted, but Thomas didn't believe in such things. That first night, he was lying in bed, ready to sleep, when he heard soft whispers. He couldn't make out the words, but they sounded like children laughing. Curious, he followed the whisper down to the basement, carrying only a dim flashlight. As he went deeper into the darkness, he whispered louder, surrounding him from every corner. A flashlight flickered in his saw teeth. Shadows of children with sunken eyes and sad expression watching him. He stumbled back, but the door behind him slammed shut. Then a voice, clear and easy, whispered, "Stay with you forever." The room filled with shouting voice and drashed him into the darkness. Thomas screamed in vain on the door, but his cry faded into silence. Days later, neighbors realized Thomas was missing. In those who dared approach the houses where they could hear faint desperate whispers through the walls. Thomas' voice was no one more in the Indel's haunting.
And finally, we have story 3, The Endless Nightmare. So, every night, Liam had the same nightmare. He would wake up in his dark bedroom, only to find it different. The shadows seemed to break, his toys stared at him with hollow eyes, and the walls seemed to close in. One night, he decided to escape the nightmare. He opened the door and found himself back in the same room. Desperate, he ran to the window, but the world outside seemed twisted, as if he saw it through the fog. Suddenly, he saw his reflection in the mirror on the other side of the room, still lying on the bed. The reflection opened its eyes and smiled, saying, "This is your new reality, Liam. You'll never be able to live." Terrified, he tried to wake up, but the nightmare seemed all too real. Every door, every window brought him back to that dark room, to that reflection smiling with malicious eyes. From that night on, his family never saw him awake again. He was trapped forever between the world of the living and his endless nightmare.
And so, the souls become part of the darkness, trapped between the living and the dead. Perhaps tonight you will hear whispers, see shadows, or find yourself in the nightmare you cannot escape from.
And sweet dreams if you dare to sleep.
Once upon a time there was a faraway village where the sun barely shone and fog covered the fields at dawn. In this mysterious place there was a remote hill where it was said that the skulls of former inhabitants came back to life every night of the full moon. Many years ago, this village had been prosperous, full of laughter and hard-working people. But a tragedy happened. A mysterious boat in the nearby river brought a strange illness. Little by little, the inhabitants died, and soon this village was empty, forgotten by time. Decades passed until someone returned to the place, an archaeologist named Chris, who was known for his curiosity and bravery. He had heard the legends about the village and about the schools that came to life, so he decided to go and see for himself.
He arrived at the village just before the night of the full moon, and as the sun disappeared, he felt the air turned so cool and the wind whispers in forgotten languages. The fear remained, but buildings were in ruins, and the three seemed to stretch towards the sky with their three tops as if they wanted to take the moon. Chris decided to stay on the hill where, according to the legends, the schools meet at midnight. When the clock struck 12 and the moon shone high above, Chris saw a small light coming from the group, from which the skulls of the former inhabitants slowly emerged like black and white shadows. They had no bodies, only heads floating in the air, and their eyes full of sadness observed him with a mix of curiosity and nostalgia. "Who are you?" asked one of the skulls in a hollow voice. Chris, a throat trembling with fear, explaining his mission and his interest in knowing their story.
The schools began to tell their life. Each one had been a person in the village during families and flights. One of them, named Kitty, had been a talented artist who painted on the walls of the village. Another carpenter had been a baker, and his trade was said to be so delicious that people come from other village just to taste it. There was a doctor, Lily, who until his last ride, to find a cure for the disease that had contaminated.
At dawn, when the light began to fade, Chris promised that he would return and share his story with the world. But as he came down the hill, he heard one last voice whisper in his ear, "Remember, Chris, we are not just history. We are still here, waiting for the village to live again." Since then, Chris has dedicated his life to telling the story of the village and remembering those who were part of it, so that they will never be forgotten. And it is said that every night of the full moon, when the wind blows from the hill, you can still hear murmurs of the schools telling their stories to whoever wants to listen.
It is said that every night of the full moon, when the wind blows from the hill, you can still hear the murmurs of the schools. Schools failure their stories to whoever want to listen.